Have you ever stopped to think about how judges figure out what a law really means? You might think it's simple, just read the words on the page, but it's not. The laws that govern all of us are often like a puzzle, with a meaning hidden in plain sight. And today, we're going to figure out how to solve it. Okay, let's start with something really simple. Check out this sentence. I saw a man on a hill with a telescope. Seems straightforward enough, right? But what if I told you there's a hidden ambiguity in there? Just take a second and see if you can spot it. And there it is. Who actually has the telescope? Are you the one using a telescope to watch the man, or is it the man on the hill who has it? See, that one simple sentence has two totally different meanings. And that right there is the mystery we're tackling today. When words can mean different things, how on earth do we find the single true meaning? All right, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll dig into this problem of words. Then we'll look at decoding the rulebook. After that, we'll open up the interpreter's toolkit, explore the clash between the letter versus the spirit of the law, and finally, we'll get to the big one, why it all matters. So that telescope sentence, it perfectly nails the problem we're talking about. This isn't just some fun little language game. This exact same problem of words meaning more than one thing exists in our most important documents, our actual laws. And when the stakes are that high, you can bet that finding the one true meaning is absolutely critical. So, to solve any kind of mystery, what's the first thing a detective does? They look at the evidence. In the legal world, the most crucial pieces of evidence are, you guessed it, the laws themselves. So let's get into it and start decoding that rulebook. The number one piece of evidence we're dealing with is called a statute. Just think of it as the official rulebook for all of us, written by our lawmakers. It's the primary text, the main clue that our legal detective has to work with. Now, here's the key. A judge doesn't just read the statute. Their real job is to interpret it. And interpretation, well, it's the art of figuring out the true sense of the words. It's about getting into the minds of the people who wrote it to uncover what they were actually trying to accomplish. But how do they do that? I mean, they don't just guess, right? Of course not. Like any good detective, judges have a very specific set of tools and methods they use to systematically figure out what a law truly means. And the ultimate goal of using this toolkit is to find what's called the doctrinal interpretation. That's a bit of a fancy term, but all it really means is the true meaning. The whole point is to go beyond just the surface of the words to discover what the law is really saying. And in that toolkit, there are two fundamental approaches, two main ways a judge can go. The first is called grammatical interpretation. This is where you focus only on the ordinary dictionary meaning of the words. What does the text say, plain and simple? The second is logical interpretation. This is where you look beyond the words to find the lawmaker's original intention. And this right here brings us to the classic dilemma, the central conflict in all of legal interpretation. Do you follow the literal evidence, what we call the letter of the law, or do you investigate the motive behind it, the spirit of the law? This really gets to the heart of it. On one side, you have the letter of the law. That's the literal method. You only look at the words on the page. You stick strictly to the script. But on the other side, you have the spirit. That's the functional method. It seeks the law's true purpose. It asks, hey, what problem were they trying to solve when they wrote this? It's all about reading between the lines. But here's a really crucial guideline. As the famous jurist Salmon pointed out, the starting point for any investigation has to be the text itself. In most cases, courts work on the assumption that the plain words, the letter, are the best evidence of the spirit. You only really go searching for the spirit when the letter is confusing or unclear. So, why are we talking about all this? Is this just some abstract debate for lawyers? Absolutely not. The choice a judge makes between these different methods has huge, and I mean huge, real-world consequences. Just think about it for a second. The way a judge decides to interpret a single phrase in a law can completely change the outcome of a court case. That choice, sticking to the letter or searching for the spirit, can be the difference between a business succeeding or failing, a person's rights being protected, or even someone winning or losing their freedom. It affects literally everything. Which leaves us with this massive fundamental question. To have a fair and just society, what's more important? Should we prioritize the law exactly as it's written so that everyone knows the rules, no exceptions? Or should we try to fulfill the law as it was intended, even if the words themselves aren't quite perfect? There's no easy answer, and it's a profound challenge that judges grapple with every single day.